Since October 7th, 2023, when the brave Palestinian national resistance launched the Operation Al-Aqsa Flood, the solidarity with Palestine around the world has reached an unprecedented level. This movement has extended to sports, where the Palestinian cause already existed, especially in the fans of the Glasgow Celtics, Chile's Desportivo Palestino, and Arab teams, especially Raja Casablanca. Aziz Al-Shair, Kyrie Irving, Jalen Brown, Natasha Cloud, Kirsten Bell, Laisha Clarendon are all athletes who have since shown solidarity with the Palestinian cause. In the world of fighting, the footage of Irishman Paddy McCurry beating the former Israeli soldier Shuk Faraj at Cage Warriors 189 went around the world. Another brilliant case is that of Jenin Nasiri, a Muay Thai fighter who, in March 2024, gave a powerful speech in honor of Palestine.
Every day that we wake up, anything I do, I'm living in Thailand, I was raised in the West, I've never been able to see Palestine my whole life. Every single day, everything that we do, if I eat, I feel like I betray my people. If I drink, I feel like I betray my people. Me smiling now, seeing my own blood in something that I have chosen myself, while my people are being killed for no reason. 2 days ago, we had to go through something we call a spike as a wake up. I lost around 7 kilograms in 5 days. I was very angry, I was upset, I could only drink water and eat certain types of food. Children in Gaza are being forcefully starved to death. My people, there's no point of now. Everyone knows what's going on. I appreciate the support. I'm not going to call for no recognition. We as Palestinians, I shall send a message. We do not believe in the international community. We do not believe in the United Nations. We do not believe in the fake so-called civilized countries and human rights. We believe only in our resistance, and we want to send a message. We don't need anyone to help us. No one's doing fuck all. We want to send a message to our enemies. You fuck with the wrong people. We're going to say it was, it is, and it will always be Palestine until the day we die. Our post is not going to be a hashtag on social media. Our post is going to remain.
A Nova Democracia newspaper decided to meet Nasiri and talk to him about the Palestinian solidarity in sports and his vision on Palestine. Jenin, thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you
so much for joining us.
Thank you.
And we would like to start with a brief introduction. So could you first introduce yourself to our audience? Where do you live right now? You that introduce yourself as Moroccan, but especially a Palestinian. So what's your story?
So I'm originally Palestinian. I'm Palestinian from England. My parents were driven out of Palestine in 1948. They went to Lebanon. They live in refugee camps. I was born in Lebanon, but I'm originally, but I was raised in the West, in England. I've been doing Muay Thai for a long time. My father was in the Israeli prisons in both Lebanon and Palestine. When they went to Lebanon, they invaded Lebanon in 1982. They built prisons. Most of my family went to those Israeli prisons, and some of them were moved to inside occupied Palestine, where they went served some time there in Israeli prisons. I've been always as Palestinians since we were young, where it gets very political for us from a young age, about Palestine, about world politics, about revolutions in the whole world. So Palestine has been always a part of me wherever I went. And yeah, this is me. I've been staying in Thailand for a long time because I do Muay Thai. And most of my fighting or my fights, they take place in Thailand.
Yes, that's an interesting story. And Janine, the war in Palestine and Lebanon, has always restricted the development of sports and athletes in these countries. Your story with struggling for uh,
In Palestine, for example, during the Intifada in 2000, I believe, they targeted the Palestinian national football team.
yes.
They, they killed most of them. It's very difficult to call most of the Palestinian national team. Most of them are from abroad who carry different nationalities. We have a lot of players from Chile, from Latin America, from Europe. And those guys, the Israelis, make it difficult for them to come and play in Palestine. I don't think the Palestinian team had a lot of games in Palestine. Normally, like for example, for the World Cup qualifiers, they had to play the home games in Jordan. So they make it difficult. They either target them by killing them, by imprisoning them. There was a Palestinian a national team player who was in prison for a long time, a few of them actually. So, and if they don't do that, they make it difficult. They don't give them the permission to leave the country, to enter the country, to travel. They make it very, there's a lot of day-to-day things that they make very difficult for Palestinians, apart from obviously the killing and the genocide that's going on.
Yes.
Like sports is nearly non-existent in Palestine, but we try. There's a lot of talented Palestinians out there.
Yes, yes, of course. And Janine, the popular solidarity in sports play a very important role in solidarity and in helping this struggle, I imagine, because sports mobilize billions of people in various competitions, and it is also capable of breaking down borders between countries because people mobilize themselves around the sports and athletes and teams and causes. And how do you see the importance of these political agendas behind highlighted in sports, behind these competitions? How do you see this importance in for the athletes and for the public in general that
It, it does a lot. It does a lot. I think it's a duty for me. The case of Palestine is more important than my career as an athlete, as a sports person. I think it's very important. It's because, like you said, sports have a lot of followers. Most people enjoy sports. People from all over the world. So when you take the chance, use your platform to speak about the case of Palestine or any just case in the world, um, it makes people, especially the younger generation, like, okay, a lot of people didn't hear about Palestine from like before. They think Palestine and Israel are two separate countries, not knowing that the Israelis came and took the whole land. Um, so it helps a lot in spreading the message. It
Mhm.
helps a lot, and it helps a lot in raising awareness of what's going on in Palestine.
Yes, yes. And it is important for you to say that the Palestinian cause is more important to you because many athletes have suffered reprisals for taking a stand in favor of the Palestinian people. The former NBA star Dwight Howard recently recounted that after posting the words Free Palestine on his X account down in 2014, he was immediately bombarded with phone calls and people say no, delete this and all that. And recently other athletes also suffered reprisals. So I'd like to know how is that for you, if you ever suffered any reprisals, how it's like in Muay
After
Thai.
Before my video, I was taking out a lot of shows because I've been always vocal about Palestine. I remember one time someone said to me, "Listen, I respect what you do." He's a promoter. So the promoters, these are the guys who get you fights. They have promotions. They have their own organizations. He said, "Your page is too political." That's before my video. And I said, "Why?" He goes, "It's just like too much Palestine." I said, "This is where I come from." He goes, "You need to tone it down a bit because people are complaining." Um, and we saw how we were treated differently But after the video, oh my God, I was harassed by government, some governments. There was videos of me surfing on the internet calling me anti-Semitic. People saying that they do not feel safe walking around in England while there's a person like me living there. I was laughing. And I don't know what is on. And one of them, the worst one, was that I said something based. I said we don't believe in the international community or human rights because these organizations they have been found for a purpose. But when it comes to the Palestinian life or any other life that to them is not worthy, they don't do anything. So we said we don't believe in them as just organizations. That was cut off and said, look at the Palestinians. When we said they are animals, we were not lying. These people don't believe in human rights. And I was like, oh my God, it was crazy. What happened? I was suspended from a couple places. I left 2 gyms. One gym was so clear they didn't want me. So clear. The funny thing about it in England, they don't tell you to your face. They don't want to look. They're not honest. They're not brave about it. They don't tell you because of your political opinions. They force you to kind of leave by you come to a training session. They don't come. You're not getting fights. Oh, sorry, there was a cancellation, but everyone's fighting. You're not getting competition. You're not getting training time. You're not being invited to certain events. And eventually you realize it's you. It's because of your political stance. I left a couple of gyms. A few people not had to, they cut me off. But it is what it is.
Yes.
It doesn't bother me. It makes me smile. It makes people are losing their lives back home. So what if I don't get a fight? I'll go different place, fight somewhere else.
Yes. Yes, that is important because I would like to ask about that. So in England, I imagine that this repression is more direct, but how is that in other countries? And is there a popular support of the audience, the fans of the sport? Is there a mobilization of the people who watch Muay Thai and keep up with the fights to?
Most of the people who watch Muay Thai certainly do support Palestine. Recently, a lot of my friends, none of them are from the Middle East. They're not Palestinian. They're not Muslim. They're not Christian. Just normal Western guys holding the Palestinian flag in every fight. But the most support we get is from the Irish. I love them. They've been openly support. And what I love about the Irish, what I don't like that people are happy to support Palestinians when Palestinians are dying, when Palestinians are the victims. They're happy to support us. But when Palestinians are holding a rifle and resisting, they don't want that.
Yeah.
That we will support you as long as you're dying and you're the victim. But when you fight back, no. But the Irish speak openly about armed resistance, and that's what I like about them.
Yeah.
I am the most in terms of people, not people, even the Germans but the German government is the worst place to be. Germany is the worst place for you to be a Palestine supporter. The government is horrendous. The Minister of Foreign Affairs in Germany, a lady, I can't remember, she actually went live on TV. Even Donald Trump couldn't say that. She said that she agrees with targeting civilians.
Yes.
Like openly, no one has like even the American administration who fully support Israel, they give them the weapons and everything. They're the head of imperialism in the world. They wouldn't dare say, "Oh, we justify that." They say, "Oh, we're against every human loss," although they support it. But that German minister went out and said, "Yeah, that's Israel has no. Yeah, those civilians have to die. If there's only one fighter and there's like 200 civilians, no problem."
Yeah, that's horrendous, and we agree with your position on the Irish when Paddy McCurry beat up that soldier. We were live and we
Yeah.
were, wow, look at this, and it showed the images. It was very exploding here, and because the audience and I'm sure they're going to love this interview because they are very supportive too of the resistance, the right of the Palestinian people to defend their land, no matter in what terms and in which ways they have the right to defend the land against occupation by any means necessary. So it is a very important position to sustain here, and I would like to talk about your positions about this because in that speech on March 2024, it was a very powerful speech, and you made it clear a position that is more and more defended by people with a good conscience of the war, that there is no longer room to believe in international organizations, or at least to believe that they are going to do something concrete against imperialism, Zionism, that they're going to defend their conventions, because it is simply not working. And you also said that the Palestinians only believe in their own resistance, which we judge it is a very just and correct commentary. So could you talk more about these convictions, about this position, these ideas?
Like I said before, and I'm going to explain a little bit about this. Like I
Yes.
said before, a lot of people want to support Palestinians when Palestinian children are dying, when Palestinian women are dying, when Palestinian men are dying, when our houses, our churches, our mosques are getting bombed. But no one. But once we hold a rifle or we speak about armed resistance, no one wants to support us no more. No, they like to see us as victims, and we refuse to have this mentality. We're not victims at the end of the day. If you look at history, if you go back in history, no land was freed by peaceful demonstrations. No liberation movement has succeeded by putting a watermelon on their Instagram bio. No people were freed by chanting in the street and calling for freedom. And no country gained independence by simply the United Nations or the Security Council deciding that this is a just cause. They need to be given independence. And we have a very important rule that it's a saying that is famous in the Arab world. I think it was said by an Egyptian leader: "What has been taken by force cannot be retained except by force." Our land was taken by force. It was taken by massacres against the indigenous people, the natives. It was taken by the killing of Palestinians. And I'm not calling to the killing of no one, no innocent person. However, the only way to regain it is by armed resistance. Look at the PLO, not the PA, the Palestinian Authority.
Yes.
The Palestinian Authority, it was a branch at the beginning. It was the Palestinian movement. It was a revolution that started in 1965. They fought until the Oslo Accords, I think in 1996. So 31 years. Then they went into a peace treaty in Madrid, in Oslo, in Camp David, and they agreed. They eventually had negotiations over 22% of Palestine, and they ended up gaining less than 10% control, less than 10% of Palestine. What happened now? They laid down the weapons. If you look at the West Bank, just before the 7th of October, by the United Nations, 2023, before the 7th of October, was the deadliest year for Palestinian children. There's illegal settlements day and night. They have taken most of the land of the West Bank. Every year they build tens and tens of illegal settlements. They arrest Palestinians whenever they want. They drag Palestinians out. They kick Palestinians out. They shoot Palestinians. They kill Palestinians. They imprison Palestinians. They attack the mosques, the churches. What has peace brought to us? Peace according to them. And what about the refugees in Lebanon, the refugees in Syria, the refugees in Jordan? So any group that that seeks to gain independence, that seeks to gain freedom, that seeks to gain dignity and pride has to fight the price of freedom. One of the great Palestinian leaders, he quoted a poem that it's an old Arab poem that says, and every if I remember correctly, and every door for freedom is can only be opened with a hand bleeding, full of blood or bleeding heavily. The price of freedom is unfortunately blood, but the way to freedom is armed resistance. There's no place on earth, no country, no people, no organization, no group of people, no religious group, no minority, any group of humans on earth gained its rightful freedom and rightful independence through demonstrations. Then again, when you speak about this, which is a just cause, we're calling for our freedom. Another thing, I'm going to jump into small little off topic. They come to you, what about the Israelis? You don't believe in the right of Israel? Again, there hasn't been a point in history where the colonized, where the oppressed are being asked about the destiny of the oppressor, of the colonizer. I'm not saying to go and kill all of them. I believe that Jewish people have the right to exist. I believe Jewish people have the right to their freedom, to practice their religion, to live. But to go and make a state on different people's lands, no. So they come and ask us, oh, what do you mean? No, I'm not calling for the killing, but I'm not responsible for their destiny. I want them out of my land. Then they tell you where they're going to go. I don't know who told them that Palestinians are estate agents. We don't have like free property. Yeah, we'll have them live there, live here. We're not the West. We're not imperialists. We're not colonizers. We leave that to America and England and Britain because they're the ones who gave them Palestine like it belongs to them. Let them house them somewhere. Imagine someone comes from Poland, from Ukraine, from Russia, from Morocco, from Yemen, from Iraq, from America, from Germany, and all these people from different places, different cultures, different languages, unite just simply because they hold the same religion. And they have more right in Palestine than me, the original Palestinian. It doesn't make sense. So the only way is resistance. They respected us when we had resistance. They sat down on the table and listened to what we want when we had resistance. Where only a silly person would negotiate with his enemy without his rifle.
Yes.
Even them, even in any concept, even the Americans, now they're saying that we're going to enforce peace. Donald Trump and Netanyahu, we're going to enforce peace by power, through wars. We're going to bring about peace through wars. How is that possible? And at the same time, we're not. If we negotiate, if we want to sit down and negotiate a truce, if we want to gain our freedom, if we want to protect our people, if we want to create a deterrent from people attacking us, we have to be able to defend ourselves, and that can only happen through armed resistance. 30 years, the PLO laid down their weapons. 30 years they went into peace according to Israeli conditions. Look now where the West Bank is. Where's the Palestinian Authority? The Palestinian so-called president cannot leave to go outside of Palestine to have meetings, except when he gains a permission from some little Israeli intelligence officer in the Shabak or whatever they call them, Mossad. Look at the humiliation.
And even
And
though,
we gained nothing from the, and what peace? What peace has to be just.
yes,
As we have it's a nice Palestinian rap song. He says, I'm not against peace, but the peace is against me. The peace they're offering us is, it's just like literally an agreement to humiliation, an agreement to defeat. Not peace. Peace is when you give me back what's mine. Peace is when I gain justice. I can't come take your house and then I tell you, come, let's have peace. You take the bathroom, I take the rest of the house. No, I give you back your house. I ask you not to attack me for what I've done to you, and I apologize for it. That's peace. Not peace by taking away what's yours and then negotiating with you over a little part.
yes, yes. And that is very important because even in these conditions, and you mentioned the PA, even in this condition of humiliation of the PA and subjugation in front of the occupation, the president of the PA, Mahmoud Abbas, recently gave or better, wrote a letter to Macron where he defended the demilitarization of Hamas, the later weapons of Hamas, and said that the October 7th operation was a shame. So, I mean, shamefully positions of him, even with this completely proves that the peace accords gave nothing to the Palestinian people. Even though he remarks these positions of laying down weapons and demilitarization of the resistance not existing anymore.
Governed because we are being governed by gangs, because they're benefiting.
Yeah.
If he had the interest of the Palestinian people in his mind, he wouldn't agree to this.
Yes.
But for every generation, for every group of people, there's a Judas. And he's the Judas of Palestine, unfortunately. Because him and his gang, if one of the ministers, his name is Kurai, he's dead now. He had a cement company in the West Bank. It was providing Israel with cement to build the apartheid wall. They asked him in an interview. He said, "This is business. This is different." A Palestinian official from the PA, the Palestinian Authority,
Yeah.
one of Mahmoud Abbas' best friends.
Yes.
Unfortunately, he's a Judas of Palestine.
Yes. Jenin, thank you so much for this conversation. We would like to talk more, of course, but we have to.
Can I add something?
Yes, please,
before-
please, please.
I just want to send a message. This message is to the Palestinian resistance and to anyone that is watching this. We as Palestinians, and I speak about 99.9% of the Palestinian people, when we say that we are honored by the Palestinian resistance, we are proud of them. I am honored to say that I'm from Palestine merely for the reason that those men exist. Those men for nearly 2 years now, sitting in the tunnels, most of them without food, without support, without water, defended our honor, our dignity, defended our people, defended Palestine, defended the freedom of the people of Palestine. They go out hungry barefoot every day with their swords, with their lives in the palms of their hands, just so we can live safely, just so we can regain our freedom. So that I salute all of them, and I'm honored to say again, I'm a Palestinian because of those people, and we will never be ashamed by them. We will never shy away from defending them. We will never, ever condemn them. Rather the opposite, we will always defend them. And thank you for having me. I really appreciate it so much.
So thank you. And from Brazil, there are a lot of people that see the national resistance of the Palestinian people exactly like you said. We know that all the Latin American people, the Brazilian people, the causes that we fight, the oppressors that we fight, are very similar or even identically to the Palestinian people. We fight imperialism, we fight subjugation. Of course, the Palestinian people have their land directly occupied and invaded by the Zionists and financed by U.S. imperialists. But here in Latin America, we have a lot of identity and reference on the Palestinian people and their resistance because they are the most powerful symbol in this moment of the world of fighting against imperialism in any conditions, and this resistance is indeed a mark of the power of the people in this moment. So we have a lot of reference in this moment.
Thank you so much. Hopefully all of us will be free one day. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.